So the more people that I talk to, they all say the same thing. The collapse has begun. But how bad is it? Well, according to some, they are saying that this is worse than the 2008 financial crisis. And I want to address this for a second because everybody keeps on saying that things are not bad. Unemployment is at record lows. We know there's plenty of open positions. The housing market is still strong, I guess, because the prices are still up. I don't know. The supply chain is back on track. And according to many, they say the risk of the virus coming back is no longer a worry. That sounds really good. But is this true? Well, let's dive into this. Because again, when somebody says the unemployment rate is at record lows, well, you're only getting half of the story. Let's talk about this. First, let's address unemployment. Unemployment is at record lows. But this also means that if more people have a job, that puts more upward pressure on inflation. So all those people that are saying that things are back on track, well, yes, but inflation still isn't fixed. So unemployment being so low is contributing to more inflation. So does that really sound like it's a good thing? To many people, they'd say, no, it's not. Well, what about the current open positions, right? There's millions of jobs available. Well, what do we know about this? Well, there's more than 10 million available jobs right now. But doesn't this mean that if there's a bunch of positions that are needing to be filled and we have people on unemployment, shouldn't we be able to fill those positions? The answer is yes. But we have record low unemployment and we have record high open positions. Doesn't that seem to be somewhat fishy? There's a disconnect here. Could it be that all of the people that left their jobs and left the job market, there was more than originally expected or that we are currently even projecting? The answer would be yes. More people retired. A bunch of people passed away. That was very concerning, right? But the amount of people that retired prematurely, that is very concerning. Or the people that just left the job market because the job that they were at, they were not satisfied with. But they're not on unemployment anymore. We're not getting all those numbers. Those are not the headline numbers. You really got to dig into the reports to find those. And so again, the people that are saying that, oh, unemployment is so low, we cannot go into a recession because unemployment is just so low. That's part of the problem. We will dip into a recession again if we see the Federal Reserve come out, raise rates even more, raise rates faster, and this time it will really impact companies. Because again, there are a lot of companies out there that are laying employees off. For instance, Salesforce, was it just last week or 2 weeks ago? They decided to lay off thousands and thousands of employees. That's big. And well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about people getting laid off. Because let's dive into the housing market. Now, when people are saying that the housing market is still strong just because home prices are stable, home prices may be stable, but they're stable very high. And I actually heard from a realtor just the other day, and they had something to say about this. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. But according to a realtor today on Fox News, they say that their transactions are lower than they were back in 2008. That was a very difficult time. And a few realtors that I talked to just recently, one of them stated this is worse than 2008. Another one said, nobody wants to buy a house. Everybody is worried that interest rates will not come back down soon, and they don't want to get locked into a rate that they can't afford. And when it comes to variable rate loans, they don't want those either. Well, who would, right? And then another realtor friend of mine, he had this to say. It is hard to sell houses because my sellers are asking for make me move prices. And this is very unrealistic. With the rates creeping back up, we need to lower our asking prices. But all the people that I'm working with are looking at the past as a missed opportunity, so they don't want to ask for less. Let's address this one for a second. So why are home prices stable, but stable at very high prices? Well, according to one of my friends, he says it's because the sellers are asking for those make me move prices. Well, what are make me move prices? Well, a make me move or make me move offer is you pretty much have to come above market value to make this person move out of maybe their forever home or whatever they may call it. But a make me move price or offer has to be above what the house is even valued at in most cases. And he's saying that this is very unrealistic, that we need to lower asking prices. But a lot of these people are pretty much upset with them. They're kicking themselves because they didn't act on this sooner and they didn't try to sell their home months ago or even last year. That's the issue, is now these people are asking for more than the house is actually worth. People are not putting in offers. The house is sitting, and as more homes sit on the market, right, and then we get more inventory, then we'll see prices come down. But again, we could potentially be 3 to 6 months away from that. All right, so just keep that in mind. And what about the supply chain? Well, I addressed this the other day, and I'll talk a little bit about it again. The supply chain is getting better, but it's not 100% fixed. There are still a lot of issues that we're facing when it comes to our supply chain. And one of the biggest ones, and I addressed this a little bit yesterday, but one of the biggest issues that I am seeing right now is what happens with the relationship between China and the United States. Tensions are already extremely high. And if the United States and China can't get along, then things are only going to get worse moving forward. And if we see that China is not supplying products to the United States like they used to or at the same pace, we are going to have problems here in the US. For instance, I talked about this just the other day. I talked about, well, what if, I believe the example I used was a hamburger bun from McDonald's. That if, let's just look at the hamburger bun, it has to be, manufactured or, created, whatever, right? So it goes to the machines. Well, what if the machine needs a part and it's coming from China? What if China just delays shipments to the United States? What if they, we have sanctions against us or against China and we cannot do business like we used to? Again, these are some big issues, and this would cause a major panic. But if we cannot conduct trade like we have been with between the United States and China or other countries, a collapse is going to happen. We know this. And so some are already worried. This is happening. This is just the beginning of the collapse. And if this is worse than the 2008 financial crisis, well, I feel sorry for a lot of people, because right now, and this is something I've been saying for the past year, the most important thing that you can do right now is pay off debt, save money, and do something else to give yourself an additional income. Do those three things. If you can do those three things, the main ones, pay off debt, okay, make a little bit extra money. Those are the big ones, because if you make a little extra money, you can pay off more debt. You can also save more money, right? So get rid of any expense that you really don't need. If it's a gym membership that you use once a month, get rid of it. You don't need it. Pay for a daily membership. You don't need the monthly one, right? Cut costs, save money, figure out a way to do this, because when this collapse actually happens, and if it is worse than the 2008 financial crisis, you need to be prepared. The best way to be prepared is to start planning now. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.